The voicemail was from my father. My father has been dead for 6 years, his voice a ghostly echo on the phone whispering stay away before static drowned out any further words. The message looped in my head as I walked through Oakwood General Hospital's deserted halls, my footsteps echoing off cold tile floors. Dust motes danced in shafts of light filtering through grimy windows, casting an eerie glow over rust-stained walls. Room 312 was marked with a faded yellow caution tape that fluttered like a broken flag in the stale breeze. The door creaked open under my hand, and I stepped inside to find an empty bed hooked up to a solitary IV drip. It hung motionless above where someone once lay, now gone, leaving behind only the mechanical beep of a heart monitor that no longer registered any signs of life. I approached the cart filled with patient files, each folder yellowed and brittle from neglect. As I flipped through them, stories unfolded like pages torn from some macabre novel. Dr. Harper's notes on an unidentified illness spreading rapidly among staff. Nurse Jenkins' frantic scrawl about patients turning violent without warning. Mr. Lee's last entry describing how he watched his colleagues vanish into thin air before his very eyes. The disease seemed to erode both body and mind, leaving those afflicted in a state of perpetual decay. The hospital had been their sanctuary but quickly became the site of unspeakable horrors. My fingers trembled as I read about the final shift when no one could be found, doctors, nurses, patients all vanished overnight. A chill ran down my spine as I reached for Dr. Harper's file again. Something wasn't right. Her notes ended abruptly mid-sentence, the only way to stop it. The rest was smeared with what looked like blood. Panic surged through me. If they couldn't contain the outbreak, what hope did I have? I heard a faint whisper behind me, too soft for words but unmistakably human. Spinning around, I found myself face to face with an apparition in scrubs. Her eyes were hollow sockets, mouth stretched into a silent scream. She faded before my eyes like smoke on the wind, leaving only the lingering scent of antiseptic and decay. The room began to spin, shadows moving against the walls as if alive. The heart monitor's beeping grew louder, more frantic, a rhythm that mimicked the pounding in my chest. I tried to leave but found myself trapped by invisible forces. Every step towards freedom met with resistance like wading through thick mud. Desperation clawed at me as I slammed my fists against the door, screaming for help that would never come. The room shrank around me, walls closing in until they were mere inches away, cold, unforgiving metal pressing into flesh. Panic consumed every ounce of reason. There was no escape, only this endless nightmare. Then, just when it seemed I could take no more, the door burst open with a violent crack that shattered the oppressive silence. Light flooded back into 312 as if breaking free from some dark spell. Standing in the doorway was not my father, but someone else entirely, a man dressed all in black, his face obscured by shadow. He stepped forward and placed a hand on my shoulder. "You were never meant to be here," he murmured softly, voice calm yet filled with an unsettling finality. As if under his command, I felt myself slipping away from reality, my body going slack as the world faded into darkness. When consciousness returned, I was lying outside Oakwood General Hospital, sunlight warming my skin and birds chirping merrily overhead. But when I turned back to look at the entrance of the hospital one last time, something caught my eye, an IV drip hanging from a hook above an empty bed, just as it had been before. Only now the drip was moving again, a single drop falling into silence.